Hi folks, just a little disclaimer. My video does not replace a doctor, a therapist, a lawyer, or any sorts of specialist that you might require in your field. Okay, 20 seconds, that's good. This is the English version. I'm going to post the German version as much as I remember because, I don't have a script. I just talk about my experiences in life, and I do believe I've had plenty of them. So every time I'm in the woods, I have so many ideas, I have so many thoughts, I have so many feelings I would like to share with you. So you might make better decisions in your life, all right? So what I was shocked about was after my recent breakup that the internet is full of especially women dealing with exactly the same experience. I'm not going to say similar experience because they were the exact same. Like maybe not the severity of it, but like more or less like 80, 90, even some of them up to 100% exactly the same. So what I want you to know, there are multiple layers you have to take into account. And do not fool yourself. It's not about you being rejected by one, you being abandoned by one. No. There are multiple layers. I don't know even where to start. Okay, let's start from society point of view. I need to sit down for a minute. Society's point of view. Have you noticed that society teaches men, or even I would like to say boys or toddlers in maid costume, not to stand in their masculine energy anymore, and vice versa. Society teaches women or even girls in female costumes not to fully embrace their feminine side. Have you noticed that? Like seriously, can you imagine that a masculine, a real divine masculine does not take care of his family, has not built anything for himself for decades, and has done okay, here's a little bit noise I don't want you to be part of, has not built anything for himself for decades, has not taken over responsibility like full head on, and even when they ramble, they did take care and they did take over responsibility, but you can sense and you can see with the experience you've had with this boy that no, he's not taking full responsibility of you, of the family that you started to build with this person, and so forth, right? So how can you notice this? Well, first of all, don't listen to me. Don't listen to the internet. Don't listen to a coach. Don't listen to a therapist. Well, this is my thought, okay? I'm not going to say, okay, my disclaimer told you, okay, if you need a therapist, you gotta consult a therapist, right? But my personal opinion is, when it comes to a therapist, I also consult one, but it goes more to, discovering my full potential, and just standing firm about who I am. I truly am, So this is a different story, but I'm not going to listen to a therapist when it comes to the person that I'm dealing with. Okay, my advice would be, society is teaching you and others a certain way. Do you have to listen? Do you have to listen to your friends, to your family, to, his friends, his family? No, you don't. Because you live with this person and you feel a certain way. Okay, leave alone society. This is number one, right? Number two, there are certain aspects within each one of us that we have to decide which way to go, who we want to be, right? So most of the time we are wrapped up with our patterns. And we are not even aware of our patterns most of the time. Do not fool yourself. I mean, I've been working for now like full head on a full decade, almost every day on myself. I was not even aware of myself. And I consider myself being really fully aware of my actions and reactions, because before I start to react from my ego, I sit down in the safe spot within me, in the back of behind the back of my eyes, in my heart, and I try to understand, am I going to screw up this with saying this or doing this, or what am I going to do? We all play with our own lives. Why? Because we get rejected, we get abandoned, we get, belittled, we get, certain kind of negative experiences by others. So we try to form a habit, a behavior, a reaction, a set of tools in order to people not allowed to hurt us again, right? But these type of tools bring you so far away from who you actually are, because you become this type that the tools bring with them. Yeah. So let's say your boyfriend or girlfriend breaks up with you, right? So you try to be like as cold as ice to everyone else in the next years, weeks, unless you see a certain type of of patterns within the other person that you need. So okay, we're talking about needs, right? We all have needs, of course, but I would rather prefer to observe the person than manipulating the person in order to fulfill my needs. I would never do that, ever. But when someone tries to fool me and manipulate me and tries to, act from the ego all the time, constantly, I'm going to stop. Because ego is not part of the relationship, is not part of love, is not part of anything that should be in the part of the relationship, right? So what you should be doing is consider yourself what you really would like to have in a partnership, and do not get derailed from that. Do not. Yeah, I mean, it's all about frequency, right? Scientific analysis teaches us, there are plenty of papers out there, so don't take me for a fool. Yeah. So there's plenty of scientific papers out there who try to understand nature. So how do a cardiologist understand the frequency of your heart? So there is a tool, right, to do that. So it narrows down that you're an electromagnetic being. Yeah. So you have a magnetic field around you, and you have electricity that can be measured from your heart, right? So you exude some electromagnetic field around you. At this point of our century, of our time, it is possible to measure this electromagnetic field 20 meters around you. I do believe it's even much more. Once we get to a point that science can actually really capture the true nature of who we are and of how far away this electromagnetic field goes, I would say it goes beyond thousands of kilometers. Like seriously, so much beyond. Okay, it's not limited to the location you live. It's not limited to anything. It's not limited to anything. It's irrelevant of time and location. This is what I believe in. Anyhow, so it is also scientifically proven that how you feel, your thoughts and your emotions create some sort of also a resonance. Yeah. because this changes also the resonance of the electromagnetic field, right? Okay, maybe I don't explain it right in English, or even I'm not literate enough to explain it in the right way. But here's what I think. If you have been hurt, and we all have, especially from, our parents, the people that raised us, and even the people that were supposed to raise us but didn't raise us, and so forth, okay? And you don't understand how to heal this wound. Okay, first of all, this hurt will happen. It doesn't matter how amazing your parents are, okay? Even the most amazing parents are just human beings. And they have their faults, they have their mistakes, they have their, educational failures, etc. So you will get hurt, yeah? It depends on the amount, it depends on the influential factors, etc. So this is not an assumption, it's a matter of fact that we all got hurt to some degree during our childhood, okay? So if you're not aware of enough that you are the product of your childhood traumas, if you're not aware of it, you're a slave to it. You're just a slave to it. And if you're aware of some of it, you're definitely not going to be aware the full vast influence of it. So how do we proceed from here? It is ridiculous to check all traumas that you've ever had, but I mean, there will be some that are really, really, really messing up your life to the max. And if you're aware of it, and if you really want to heal, then you got to really break it down and work through it with the help of someone, with the help of a therapist, but also with the help of yourself, being really open and honest with yourself. Anyhow, so how do we really heal in order for us to not be the slave to patterns that destroy our lives? Yeah, especially in relationships. You gotta understand what you wanted to have in your life before you got hurt. Okay, so let's look at a child. At a child that is like, I don't know, is at the stage where it didn't get hurt yet. Okay? Okay. What does this child want? It wants love. It just wants cuddles. It wants love. It wants nurturing. It wants a safe place. It wants to know that someone is there that takes care of them, that nurtures them, that loves them, that protects them, and so forth, right? Okay. This essence of what we really truly want is in a partner. We want a protective, loving, caring, nurturing partner, right? If that changes, that we say, okay, whatever, you have intoxicated yourself so much that you just seek someone who is on the surface levels, nourishing your fetish. Like, let's say there are many European men who are down for Asian women. So what does this Asian woman represent for you? Most of the Asian women live in under very poor conditions. Yeah. So a man told me, if a man can't have the love of his life, he'll go for the one that he can control. And this phrase hit rock bottom. It really explained a lot what I've not just experienced myself with with toddlers in male costume, but also with relationships I was able to observe, like in my friend circles, acquaintances circles, colleague circles, etc., professional and private life. Anyhow, so Asian women, you even have like a full industry that gives you the possibility to have a catalog full of Asian brides, right? So what they compromise is their full identity. Yeah, they have possibly not developed a character. All they crave is someone that takes care of them, so they don't die from poverty, more or less. Okay. So what else do they have? They have a very thin body type, right? So what does that represent again? What kind of I would call it fetish does this again nurture this guy? Yeah, I mean, if they haven't developed like the curves usually every female has. So what does that mean again? What kind of fetish do they have? Yeah, so maybe they have a fetish for children. Yeah, maybe they have a fetish for maybe they're bisexual, or maybe they're even gay, but they're not even admitting that they're gay to themselves. They haven't opened up to that possibility of living their lives as gay or whatever. Yeah. So okay, what I want you to understand is you gotta know what you wanted to have in your partner when you were not hurt yet. Okay, so I've had this multiple opportunities to speak to women online, but also offline. So women kept opening up towards me when I was really open with my experience, because I want to go into studying psychotherapy and also writing a book at the same time. I really understand this, not from a personal point of view, but I really understood that we are on the brink of transforming the society into reversing roles, the female with the male role, yeah, and also like emptying our entire like beings for the sake of I don't know what you call it, the devil or what. Yeah, what we do is only consume in the outside. We consume people, we consume stuff, we consume money, we consume. But I believe and I understood that most of the people don't even know themselves. They haven't formed a character yet. Like my ex, he changed like, I don't know, 100 times. At the end of the day, I asked him, who are you? Who are you? Can you please stick to one version so I understand whether you're right for me or not? Yeah. So it was impossible to get a glimpse of who he truly is. Yeah. And at the age of almost 50 years old, this is embarrassing. And this is not even embarrassing on a personal level. It is on a much higher society and economical point of view level. What is society bringing out in these people? I'm talking about men at the moment because I'm talking about my personal experience. So what is society bringing out in these people to become like opportunistic, like all the time? How is that possible? How is that possible? I mean, men were raised at least, my generation. No, I can't talk about my generation because I'm in my mid-40s. So he's almost 50. It's not about generation. It's not even about culture. It's not even about tradition. You can't pinpoint that to a culture, to a religion, to nothing. But I do believe that, I don't know, it's maybe, I haven't figured it out yet. I can't tell you anything about it yet. But I want you to understand there is a certain type of men and possibly also of women who have decided, subconsciously of course, to change according to their circumstances, like all the time, like maybe 10 times a day. Yeah. So on a spiritual level, people would talk, well, there are many entities in them. They're possessed by, I don't know, 10 entities maybe. On a physical level, or on a mental level, psychology would call them, like, they have mental disorders and would call them borderline this and that, I don't know. And on an emotional level, I would say they're so disconnected from their hearts, I don't even know if they're still human, or maybe just a zombie that is I don't know, weirdly possessed by something to inflict society with evil and mischievous acts. Yeah. So I do believe we have a war, but it's more internal, and we have to be aware of what we want. Okay, I talked lots about society, right? Societal influences. But now let's break it down to, have you become a person that puts a set of tools together in order to somehow survive the abuse coming from this person? And you're trying to understand the person. You're trying to show them more good of your heart, so they can understand they have also, a choice to be good again. You know what you're doing? Can you imagine talking to a robot or to the wall and expect them to react humanly? I mean, seriously, this is a totally different type of person. You're not, you cannot expect them to react in a normal human way. Yeah, I've had a monster at home, like seriously, a tyrant. Yeah, and you know what? All the women I've talked to, same experience, not similar, same. So what I want you to understand, dear ladies, and I'm pretty sure there are also some men out there who've had similar experience. Yeah, a little bit noise in the background, sorry for that. It will disappear in a bit. So what I want you to understand is, do not compromise who you want to have as your partner. Do not compromise your values, your true values. I'm not talking about your ego. Yeah? Your ego can hit rock bottom. If ego is on the plate, if ego is served, love is non-existent in that relationship anyway. So if you see that this person is in his ego, trust me. And you don't have to trust me, you know that. Love is not served. Nowhere. This person is in for his own benefits, okay? And deep down, you know. Okay, so how do you know whether the person is for you or not? I beg you to do just one exercise. Just one. Just do one exercise. Sit down with yourself and take a deep look at your feelings, how you feel with this person. That's it, how you feel with this person. Is this person protective of your mental and emotional health, of the family that you want to build with this person? If this person is caring when you when you're sick, when you're ill, when you fall ill. If this person is let's say, going to the emergency room with you, especially when it was his mistake, you landed there, is this person even human? Is this person human? Try to understand how you feel. Yeah. So I was with someone who did substance abuse. I was in a fight and flight mode all the time. I was not capable of taking my time for 10 minutes, sitting down with myself and talking to myself. Because you know why? Because I knew he wasn't for me. Yeah. If it's the right time, wrong timing, then this is also the wrong guy. Simple as that. Yeah. So with the right guy, the timing will be right, because it doesn't matter what you go through. This person will be there through thick and thin, through good and bad, through all of it. He will be patient with you, just like you have been patient with this person. Okay, I'm not going to do the translation, it's just too much. So what I want you to understand, sit down with yourself, take a day off from the relationship, just a day. You don't have to tell him, just sit down at a safe spot, possibly your home, hopefully, and try to understand how you feel with this person. The more you close your eyes, the bigger the explosion will be in the future. And to open your eyes, to open the eyes of good ladies out there, so they don't change sides from good to bad. That's why I'm writing this book. I want you to understand that what you want is out there. What you want, you are deserving. What you want is you. You are pure love. So if you exist, how can you doubt that your counterpart exists? How can you doubt that? If God created you with all of the things that you are, how can you doubt that the counterpart of you does not exist? How can you doubt that? If the amazing you exists, the amazing masculine divine exists. And I'm going to talk more about feminine and masculine roots, and how society, or how influential factors in society trying to derail the roots of the truth of women and men. Okay, so I started recording when I was still bitter, when I was still sad, when I was still trying to move on, etc. And I listened to other coaches, when it comes to narcissism. I listened to plenty of coaches out there, and it really hit me really hard, because I saw that most of them have not healed yet, because they were still you can sense when someone is labeling others, when they're boxing others, and when they're talking about stuff like narcissism, etc. I sense that they haven't moved on. They have still the open wound, and with doing this, they will never heal. You know how I healed? Just a glimpse into my healing is, I feel sorry for this poor person I can imagine that the soul that he has does not even like what the vessel does in this 3D. And I do understand why he's numbing himself now. I feel sorry because, you know, these people, as I said, I mentioned earlier, we all come from wounded parents and we are wounded ourselves, right? And these people, they didn't understand what life is about. They just don't understand it yet. We all have the same set of tools to understand everything within ourselves, without ourselves, or without. So we all have the same set of tools, but these people have not understood what life is about. Life is about experiences. And we consider experiences as good as bad according to our knowing, according to our feelings, right? And I would consider the people that call experiences bad, I would consider them as still hurt. You know why I like my bad experiences? I elevated 10 times faster and higher in my personal development with bad experiences than I did with good experiences. So in the end of the day, I thank this experience to make me hit rock bottom so I can elevate and come back home to myself, to who I am, to what I want, to make no compromise anymore. I'm not here to compromise. Life is not about compromise. Haven't you looked around that some people get exactly what they want? Some people start from zero and they become billionaires. Yeah, with a safe home, with a wife by their side that is down for them during hard times, but also the richest times. And the husband does not run away because he has become a billionaire. This world is not about compromising. I don't believe that I have to compromise in life. You have to understand that you can get anything you want, but if you consider that you can't get anything you want, then you will get exactly that. Something that is not what you want, at least not all of it. So don't compromise what you think you deserve, what you feel you deserve, okay? Okay, so I'm gonna stop here. I'm wishing you all well. I'm proceeding well with my courses in psychotherapy, but this will not be the end for me. For me, energy work is the one that I'm going to focus on, and the major points will be trauma, childhood, but also adulthood, and addictions. And it doesn't come down to just drug addictions. Drug addictions, people that are drug addicted are the ones that are the weakest ones, because society considers them as seriously needing help and having all the tools to help them. There are plenty of rehabilitation centers, doctors, etc. And this is even covered by the insurance. Okay? So these are the weakest ones that get addicted. But consider someone like myself. I'm addicted to shopping. I was addicted to tarot reading. And I've made the exact amount of money to spend on these two things, on these two addictions. Yeah, I didn't need to get outside and be dependent on others, or being dependent on the social system, or depending on whomever and do illegal stuff. No, I earned my money, I was down for the addictions, and there's nobody out there to talk about, you know, what these addictions are about. It stems from childhood trauma. And as loving as my mom is, she's still a human being. And I was raised by a very tyrant father as well. And so there it comes, yeah. Me compromising my value system, my standards, yeah, to lower them for another tyrant. So no. If I can be pure love after all I've gone through, there's someone out there. There's someone that exists and the same amount of wisdom and intelligence emotionally, but also like mentally, and has gone through the same things and has protected the purity of his heart and took all the wisdom that he needed from these experiences. Simple as that. And you have to understand, if you really overlook red flags in the first place, you have to deal with them even in the worst way in the future. So don't do that. Don't. The more red flags, the red flags I've seen with him were minor. You know, in the beginning it wasn't an issue, but you know, if you ignore like someone lying to you, you know what happens? This person will take you for a fool. He will not be happy that, you know, okay, it was a one-time thing, I lied to her, I'm so sorry, I'm not going to do it. No, they will take you for a fool. Yeah, because you're dealing with a empty vessel possessed by multiple entities, I would say. Inflicted by society, not living up to his masculine way. Yeah. All right, peeps. So I'm gonna dive in deeper into the woods. So I'm not going to have signal anymore. So that's why I have to stop here. Have a great, blessed weekend. Bye for now.